Cool. So just chat with me about what you thought about the program. What score did you get? How happy are you or not happy? Some people want more, right? So yeah. So what was it like working with us?
The program was good. I started like all the way back last year,
Yeah. Hmm.
in the middle of the school year, and I did the 12-week course. During that, I guess for me, it took longer um like for me to see my score change. So I did that. I learned all the stuff that like you guys,
Hmm.
all the tips and tricks like y'all said and like gave us. And then I was kind of working with both you and Tay
Uh-huh.
uh, for probably like the next several months.
Yeah.
Um, and my score went up from like a 29, uh, which it started out as, and then I took only one ACT test so far,
Hmm.
actual ACT test so far, and I scored a 35 on that.
Yeah.
But then on practice ACTs, I've been scoring 36s.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so yours was an interesting thing because in the beginning you started off slow.
mhm.
Right? Like Kay and I talked a lot about you because we're just like, what the heck's going on with this kid? Right. And then like one day your score just started just moving fast. And I was like, okay, cool. So that's good. And then like I said, like the difference between a 35 and a 36 is really just one more question, right?
Mhm.
Like doing, like getting a 36 on one more thing, which is I always say it's a risk, right? Because like, the idea here, like you always have to keep in mind, is it your goal to get a 36 or is it your goal to get into college? Right.
Yeah.
And with the 35, you'll get into almost any school that you apply to. Like it won't be the reason why you don't get accepted. Okay. So like especially nowadays, I pressure a lot of our students once they get into that, 30, the 99th percentile, don't worry about it too much. Start focusing on the other parts of the application, right?
Okay.
Just because like my parents, your parents, like anybody who went to college in another country, college admissions is very straightforward, right? Like the highest grades, the highest GPA, the highest test scores you get in, whereas in the US, it's a lot of like the extra stuff, right? So
Yeah.
you want to make sure that the extra stuff, the intangibles are good. Okay. Um, and I remember telling one of my other parents the other day, I was like, at the end of the day, the only reason why you need an extremely high test score is so that you feel comfortable knowing that that wasn't the reason why you didn't get accepted. Okay. And that's all it really does come down to. Okay. Cool. So
Yeah.
where are you planning on applying to?
I want to do like business or finance schools. So
Uh-huh.
in state in Texas would be UT and SMU, and
Uh-huh.
then out of state, I had a summer program at U Chicago, which I liked,
Hmm.
and then I applied to Columbia.
Hmm.
I was also recently looking at UK schools.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh,
that would be fun. It's also like cheaper.
uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah,
so like
colleges outside the US are substantially cheaper.
yeah.
UK schools are different because they rely more on your grades and your AP scores,
Mhm.
right? Like they don't care about these standardized tests. One of our students from 2 years ago, he got into I think Cambridge or King's College or something, but he had to go and take a test, a math test. And like I remember he sent me a sample and he was just like, "Hey, can you tutor me on this?" And I looked at the questions and I was like, "No, wait, man. Like I'm not touching this." And we have one of our tutors, he's a math professor at UBC, Vancouver or British Columbia. And I was like, "Can you help?" And he was like, "Holy crap!" Right? Like this is not high school math. So like, but like the UK schools are more based on like content and whether you know your stuff or not. So it's a little bit different, but it's worth looking into. Definitely, just like wherever you go to school is where you're gonna end up staying after school. Okay. So like if you go to a Canadian, like the University of Toronto, University of British Columbia, those are great schools out there. They're substantially cheaper, but you're probably gonna have to find a job in that area, right? Because that's where the alumni base is and things like that. And then with that comes like the problem of visas. Okay. Right. So like I have friends who went to school in the UK and they are constantly hopping around looking for jobs for visa based on visa requirements and
Okay.
stuff. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're only a junior, right?
Yeah. Just
Oh.
started junior year.
Cool. All right. Well, take that PSAT tomorrow and then text me when you're done. Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's it. All right. Thanks a
All right.
lot, man. All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later. See ya.
Okay. Bye.